Hi there. Well, I want to try and do a video to talk to you about what this snowman type of thing could be here that we can see depicted in pictures on Google Earth of the land in Egypt. Now, I don't know if you've been following Danny's videos about what he's found about the correlation between this area in this area in Egypt, how it corresponds to the pineal gland in the brain, Busaris, he's put the eye of Ra in there. He's done some fantastic work with this overlaying of this tree of the flower of life pattern, which I'm sure if you've watched his videos you'll know how he's found that it corresponds to all manner of things and links up with places with the tree of life, and where it links up with all sorts of temples. It's absolutely been fascinating. But whenever I look at these pictures of Egypt, I'm always looking at what on earth does this mean then? Because if you zoom out of the whole area, there's not much else that really sort of grabs you as something that you can actually see is something specific that looks like something. And to me, this looks like a snowman with a sort of a witch's hat on it. Now, if you looked at his pictures and how he's found that this corresponds to Jesus in that painting done by El Greco, this is Jesus here, and this is the spine. Jesus always kind of looks a bit deflated when shown in these pictures, and even if you look at the whole picture of this man down here as is shown in this video, which we'll come to later on in this video that I'm doing now. But to me it looks like this thing here is kind of hooked in to the spine. Now, I do this healing modality called life alignment, and I won't go into that now, but there's an emotion point in that which is at the top of the spine, and that is where this thing here can be seen to be hooked into. This is actually water, and this is water going down here. Now, astrologically, the moon refers to water and emotions, and obviously we know that the moon controls tides and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to first of all take you back to a video that Danny did ages ago now about what he found, which was some strange correlation between craters on the moon, which was overlaid onto a map of Rome, and it was called the Snowman on the Moon. So I'm just going to let you watch all of his video to sort of key you into where we're coming from here. So I'll start off with that, which I believe is this one. Okay, I'll just make it big and we'll listen to what he's got to say in that video.
Hey YouTube, I wanted to bring you something kind of interesting. Maybe somebody can tell me what this means, but as you can see, if you do a search for Vatican on NASA's site, and I've narrowed it down to Apollo 12 because that's what I want to show you, but you can see that the Vatican pretty much is just all over the place as far as their business in our space exploration and everything that we're doing as far as that goes. Anyway, what I wanted to show is if you go to the Apollo 12 image library and you search for Vatican on here, you get some pictures, and it's called the Snowman and Rome. Now, what I find very interesting is because if you save the pictures, and I believe there's a place you can get the PDF here as well, what it shows you is that they've taken the craters on the moon, and for whatever reason on NASA's site, they decided to overlay them on top of Rome, as you can see right here. And I don't know what that is all supposed to mean, but I think it's very interesting that the Vatican would choose to overlay craters on the moon with Rome. So what I'll do is I'll upload this PDF for you guys. I'll put a link down in the description area. Anyway, everybody have a great night and have a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. Talk to you soon.
And then we looked into, well, I looked into, I don't know, I'm saying we, but I looked into the thing that I could remember about Snowman, which was the abominable snowman. Now, I don't know if you folk are familiar with Doctor Who. Obviously us here in the UK are, but Doctor Who is a cult sort of TV series that's been on forever. I can remember when I was quite small being quite scared of it. It's supposed to be a children's programme, but it is quite scary. because they did this thing about the snowman, the abominable snowman. And okay, so if we go to the abominable snowman here, it tells us about this series that they did on Doctor Who, and it was many years ago. It was 1960 something or other. And this whole Wikipedia article here talks all about what the plot of that was, and it was quite scary actually. And this is a bit maybe life. Here's an Englishman. Why should he lie? There's monks in there, yetis and all sorts. It was no wonder I was scared when I was a kid. But it says here, it soon appears the creatures are under the control of Padmashambhava, who is moving miniature yeti-like chess pieces around a map of the area. I mean, that's scary for starters. Anyway, so we look up this person here, Padmasambhava, and we can find that he's actually some sort of I don't know if he's Tibetan or whatever, or Buddhist. Anyway, he's a type of god there. Tells you all about him here, his opposite names and all the rest of it. But on another one of his another one of the things that I found here, I wonder if it was this one here. Oh yes, it says here he holds on his head he wears a 5-petaled lotus hat. Wrathful and smiling, he blazes magnificently with the splendour of the major and minor marks. So this chap here, you could do loads and loads of reading about this chap that crops up in the story of the Abominable Snowman on Doctor Who. So then it takes me back to something else in another one of Daddy's videos, when we're talking about a 5-petal lotus hat. So let me show you this here. This is another one of Danny's videos, which you'll have to watch, The Temple of Man. This is all about this Egypt symbology. But let me just show you this bit here, because we're going to find something rather interesting that ties in with hats to do with lotus flowers. So let's just put him on play here.
Now let's flip back over here to the JAD real quick. And let's take a look at some pieces from the pyramid text. It says right here, "Raise yourself, my father, receive these your 4 pleasant provisions jars, bathe in the jackal lake, be cleansed in the lake of the netherworld, be purified on top of your lotus flower in the field of rushes, raise yourself, go in spirit state." We can see many depictions of the lotus flower and its correspondence to the way the Nile looks. Right here is showing somebody with a lotus flower on top of their head. So be purified on top of your lotus flower means be purified on top of your head, which is right here, which is right where we expect it to be, at the very top of the spine in the middle of the head. Okay. It says raise yourself, go in spirit state.
Okay, so I just want to go back to look at that picture actually, if I can just move it back a tad. Right, so if we look at this picture, I don't know where it's got this picture from, but these are these lotus flowers. There's one there. We've got one here, and it's in the middle of the snowman's hat, which is interesting because that other person, the Pradamashad or whatever it's called, he also had the lotus flower on his hat, and this is called Crocodopoulos. Right, so let's just go back to this. Is something I found which is very strange. Saints and Abominable Snowmen. Now this is from the Catholic Digest. Very strange. I don't know what date this was done. But it says here, readers of the July 1954 issue of Catholic Digest knew the answer. It was the Abominable Snowman, of course. Why would they be talking about this? I don't know. I wrote in the above paragraphs 5 years ago as we prepared to celebrate Catholic Digest's 70th anniversary. My editorial team and I have spent some time looking through 840 back issues of Catholic Digest, blah blah blah. Now, for our 75th, I've been browsing back issues again. So it starts talking about Abominable Snowman up here. And then it says, and I'm still fascinated by the very wide range of interests revealed in the 7.5 decades of Catholic Digest. In just that year of 1954, when Catholic Digest published The Abominable Snowman, it also published a delightful assortment of articles, including All Aboard for the Moon, Don't Let Your Car Freeze, and Brainwashing by Surgery. So anyway, that's just an interesting thing that we found there. And when you go to look at this, which is talking about the moon landings, and why I couldn't understand about how all these years were jumping about, and I've lost all the links now. But anyway, okay, I found this page now. So this is the snowman, as they're saying here. It looks absolutely nothing like a snowman to me. You can't see the shape of a snowman in it at all, so why they're calling it a snowman, I do not know. But it says here, somewhere about why they, yes, here we go. This name was approved. And if you look around here, some of these dates are very strange, why they're jumping around from the 1950s and 60s and then up to 1976. But it says here, this name was approved at the 1976 meeting of the IAU. So when you click on here of the IAU, it says here the IAU, founded in 1919, which is the International Astronomical Union, has been charged since its inception with overseeing astronomical nomenclature, including that for the moon, which is names basically. If we click on this, the International Astronomical Union, you will see that the first General Assembly in 1922 was in Rome, Italy. So there's one or two other bits and pieces that I've found, but I think I'll just better not go into it too much now. Have I shown you this? Symbolism of a witch's hat, because that snowman's got a witch's hat on it. And it says here, witch's hat. The big circle brim symbolises the magic circle. The tall pointy part represents the cone of power. The witch's hat, blah 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 blah. Yes, so the tall pointy part represents the cone of power. So anyway, just to go back to this then now. I don't know what that is. I think that's Google. Go back to this picture here just to finish off. So basically, I don't know whether or not this is something that has been, well, just basically never thought about before. I don't know whether it's just coincidence that all these things hook up. But you've got to ask yourself the question that if it is just coincidence and it all hooks up, then it's quite strange that that picture of this snowman is there, hooked into that, in as much as it's no more coincidental, I don't suppose you could say, that any of these other bits fit in. So is it back to the same old question? Is it the case that back in 1922, you know, Rome decided to do this and that with calling this, that and the other things on the moon and the snowman, and calling it the snowman, and the snowman's here, and we've got craters on the moon overlaid to Rome, and it's all to do with control, and who controls the Vatican and who controls us, and are they hooking into our emotions? Now, if they are hooking into our emotions, I must just tell you this, I don't want you to think, oh, that's it, you know, we're being controlled, there's nothing we can do. Oh yes, we can, because if you go back to, and I haven't got the link up here, but there's a section in the Kybalion which I've only come to obviously by watching Daddy's videos, and he talks about it. And there's other things about this phenomenon I'm going to talk to you about planes of reality, or planes of existence, and that is that you can't solve a problem from the same plane that created it. And what's his name said that, didn't he? I can't remember his name now, you know, the famous, as Einstein. And this is very true. If we are being controlled here, or if they are hooking into our emotions, rather than us running around, I believe, in this plane of existence, saying, you know, beating on the doors of the Vatican and saying stop it, stop it, stop it, because they're not going to. You've got to go to the above plane, which is a little bit cleverer, and you've got to think to yourself, right, visualise yourself unhooking yourself from that, unhooking yourself from fear. Just have to visualise yourself getting your hand, pulling this out of the back of your neck and throwing it away. That's all you have to do, because thought creates an action. If we all did that all across the planet, every single one of us, I can tell you now it would have an effect. So I don't want to sort of bring any fear to anybody or anything, and you might just think this is absolute poppycock. And I'm not saying it's hardcore scientific facts. I'm no proper researcher, I haven't got the time. This is just a few things that I've found to do with the moon, and obviously being keyed in with Danny's original finding of the Vatican overlays of the craters of the moon, which is all very strange. Well, not the Vatican, was it? It was Rome. But they do, as they say, all roads lead to Rome. So that's an interesting one for you. So anyway, I hope that I can piece all this together for you in this video. It may be nonsense, but it's food for thought anyway, and thanks for watching. Okay, bye!